Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It was a great day to be out on the Spyder today. I could not wait to get out and go for a ride this morning. It has been very warm here in Michigan, mid to upper 90s and high humidity, so I have not been riding in the past probably week. I know depending on where you're from, you're like, Mitch, that's nothing, you got to get out. But it was a little too stifling for me. But it's nice and cool this morning, mid 70s. It's a beautiful day for a ride. What I wanted to talk about today is a newbie's passenger perspective, namely my wife's, not me, my wife. Now, she doesn't want to be on camera, so I'm relaying her thoughts about being a passenger on a Can Am Spyder. This is a 2024 Can Am Sea to Sky, and we went for a 100-mile ride, and I wanted to get her feedback after that ride. When I bought this machine, I wasn't sure how much of a willing participant she would really be as to riding on the back and going for trips. I'd hope she'd like it, and I assumed it was comfortable, but I don't know. I'm the one that's driving all the time. I've never been on the back of a Spyder, and so I'll share her thoughts on what she thinks after riding 100 miles. So stay tuned. So her thoughts on riding on the Spyder. Overall, when I was talking to her about it, she said overall it was comfortable. So her being on the back for the first time, and I guess I'll preface this by saying she is a total newbie. She did not grow up with motorcycles, have never ridden a motorcycle, snowmobile, ATV, been on a road bike, so the perspective that I'm sharing is from somebody who is a total newbie. So her general thought was it was comfortable. She, after going 100 miles, determined that if we were to go any farther, she would probably want to stop once an hour to stretch. She said it was comfortable, but sitting there for that long on the back, she thought, about an hour's time frame, she'd want to get up and stretch. She said it was a little bit of discomfort in her thighs, but that was after an hour. So figure anything over an hour drive, she's going to want to stretch. That seems reasonable. I know I could probably go farther. I know that there's fuel limitations and reasons to get up and move around and stuff on a road trip, but I didn't think that was horribly bad. Her first thought was, I need a seatbelt, and I was trying to explain to her how you probably don't want to be belted to a motorcycle or a Spyder, and I think being a new rider, she's just a little apprehensive of just kind of the whole experience. So she's like, do I need a seatbelt? I feel like I need a seatbelt. I'm kind of just sitting back here. I'm like, well, that's the whole point of being on a motorcycle. You are just kind of sitting there. So I think she's a little apprehensive about falling off. She did use both of the rear handrails. She was primarily gripping those, probably with a death grip. I think over time she would learn to not have that death grip, and she's just sitting there and both hands on the rear passenger grips. So she was she felt that she seems to think it was a little tippy. Now I know she's behind me and up higher, although she's not sitting much higher than me. I'm 6 foot tall, she's probably 5'5", so she's not seeing around me in terms of height. She's just looking straight at the back of my helmet, which didn't seem to be much of a problem. Another thing that she said was we adjusted the driver floorboards for her feet. She appreciates the platform for her feet. Instead of like a peg, it's got the square platform, so she said her feet were fine. Sort of the posture and the angle were okay, so she appreciated that. Her thoughts, I guess, when I mentioned they do make armrests for this, she's not sure. She thinks she might want armrests, but when I show her a picture of the armrests, she's not sure, mainly for ingress and egress, and I think if she's going to hold on to the rear, rails, I guess you'd call them. They're below the armrest, and it kind of looks like you'd have to put your arm through sort of underneath the armrest to hold on, and who knows, the longer she rides, if she really has to have that death grip, or just having her arms supported, on the armrest would be sufficient. But she feels it's a little tippy back there, but I get it, you're not in control. She is afraid to go right now on highways, so everything we did was off highway. She doesn't feel comfortable at highway speeds yet, and I will ease her into that, as it took me a while to just drive the Spyder on the highway. But comfort-wise, yeah, she thought it was good, so she didn't have huge issue being comfortable. Now, she did say on one occasion when we went through, when I kind of had to stop for a yellow light, that she kind of slid forward into me, and she kind of had to adjust herself, but I don't think that's a major problem. One time she banged her helmet into my helmet, and I think that's just all getting used to sitting on the back of the Spyder and moving with the machine. I was trying to explain to her a little bit about sort of leaning. She doesn't know what to do, so I just told her, hey, when we're cornering, don't just lean opposite. It's sort of, if you're gonna move into the corner, don't let the centrifugal force pull you out and kind of have you go opposite of the way I'm turning. And even if she did, I don't think it's gonna, I could correct and manage everything up here. But I just told her, hey, don't hold on, but don't, go flailing on a corner and send us out of kitty wampus. So she was just getting the feeling of how to lean and how to position herself, maybe move her legs, or just stiffen one side of her body. But obviously she did just fine. And that was the thing, when we came back, it wasn't a horrible experience. She wasn't like, oh my god, I'm never gonna ride that again, oh my god, it was bad. She just kind of found her limit of being on the machine was right around an hour. So I think that is totally acceptable feedback. She loved the backrest. She loved the ability to just lean back, right? She's got the backrest up against the rear cargo box, so she can just kind of lean back. She said that was comfortable. She does not have, right now, what do you call those things in her motorcycle jacket, like a backboard. We'll probably get her one to see if it makes a difference, but she was able to lean comfortably back with her gear. And I will say she's in full gear. She's got the full face helmet, she's got gloves, she's got the full jacket, she's wearing jeans. We got to get her some riding shoes. She's definitely all about the safety aspect as well as I am. I will also say what made the ride awesome was the fact that we have Cardo headsets, so we turn those on the intercom and we're just freely talking back and forth, and that is awesome. So you can just talk as you will, and I can make adjustments based on her feedback if necessary. You're just riding and talking, and it's an awesome thing. I don't know what you'd do without that, and people probably do. You'd have to have some taps and finger maneuvers and hand gestures and a bunch of different things, but that didn't sound like something we wanted to do. So I think headsets are a must when you're riding two up. My perspective, I didn't really notice she was back there. This machine just does everything so well. I didn't really notice that she was there. I could tell the suspension had self-leveled up to the new weight. I think I weigh about 160 pounds. She probably weighs about 140 pounds. So just me riding it, don't do it, guy. When she got on there and we took off, you could feel the machine sort of self-level, which is awesome. So for me, that little extra weight didn't seem to really change a lot of the behaviors, and the machine just accounts for her weight and her sitting back there. I can't tell if she's there. I don't really see her much in my mirrors. I can just see her hands kind of grabbing the handrails. So yeah, so I think this machine does awesome for two up. She did get warm. It was a hot day. It was probably near 90 degrees. We should have left earlier. I think I blocked some of the wind for her, and so she did get a little bit warm, as we both did, but we could manage that accordingly. And I did experiment with the windshield up versus down. When she said she was warm, I'm like, well, I have it up. It's blocking a lot of the air for me, and I put it down, and then she could feel some of the buffeting on her helmet. As I could, and she preferred for me to put the windshield in the higher position, and that was sort of her perspective with any kind of wind buffeting or stuff like that. So yeah, I think overall she approved, thumbs up. So that's kind of the little bit of the passenger perspective that we have on our first 100-mile ride. If you have any questions, let me know. Let me know what your passengers think of being on a Can Am Spyder, or if you have any tips and tricks for being a passenger that, you know, it's new to us. I've got, you know, almost 1,300 miles on this, and it was really her first ride. So looking for any and all feedback about riding 2-up. For passenger and increased passenger comfort, or something just to make the ride better. It's not bad, and I'm sure we're going to take many more rides to come, but any advice would be helpful. And one thing that she did say that's unrelated to riding, she loves the storage on this bike, right? We get somewhere, we got all of our gear. She loves the fact that we can put it all in all the places that the Spyder has to store things: helmets, jackets, her purse, you know, she had some water. All that stuff can be stored. It stays put. So she really appreciates all the things the Spyder has to offer for storage. And I agree. I think this thing is an awesome machine for taking stuff with you, and she really appreciates the storage. Thanks for joining me. I will catch you in the next one. Have a good day and ride safe. Thanks.